Hey everybody, this is Drew and this is Jenn McMurdy with Capital Home Inspections. Hey, we are going behind the scenes talking to our Freedom vendors today. So good morning, Jenn. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Hey, so we're going to kick off this conversation. We want to get to know you and Ray a little bit. If you guys don't all know, they own Capital Home Inspections. They're a husband and wife owned business. But I want to go way back. So how long has Capital Home Inspection been in existence? How long have you, what's the birth of this baby called Home Inspections? How long has it been?
It's been 18 years, which is hard to believe.
Yeah, longer than some marriages, by the way.
Yes. As old as our oldest child. And I could say that this is really our first baby.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been quite a while.
So, okay. That was gonna happen. My dog's witching hour is what I call it every morning. So I wanted to ask, 18 years ago you were not in the home inspection business. Why? Why did you there's so many different industries. So
We sometimes ask ourselves that. Why?
I know, I think that in real estate as well. I'm like, what the hell did I do to myself? But what sparked it? Was there any precursor? Like, did you guys have experience with home inspections in the past? Like, what caused you guys to obviously investigate and then, really invest in the future of your business that way?
Yeah, I mean, I look back and you end up somewhere and then you're like, how did we get here? But I think my saying is always, you are where you're supposed to be. So I'm super grateful for where we are right now in our lives with our business. But when I look back, really, Ray and I were both at a point in our careers that we were just really unhappy. We were both working in corporate America, so to speak. And, Ray was an operations director for Goodwill for their corporate office.
Gotcha.
And he was up for a promotion that he did not want. That promotion was going to come with more salary, but it was going to also come with a lot of extra responsibility that he did not want to take on at that level. And we were getting ready to start our family and we wanted a little bit more freedom. And somehow we thought that being business owners would afford us that.
You just later you're laughing at yourself. But yeah, I think that's
so we had purchased a home at that point in our lives and had not had a great home inspection experience. And we were just sitting on the couch one night and we were like, what can we do? Ray had been applying for jobs and I wasn't sure if I was going to stay home. We were getting ready to have Jacob and we were just kind of at this crossroads where we weren't sure how life was going to move forward. And we entered into this conversation about what if we started a business? And at that point, it wasn't like, we're going to start a home inspection business. It was just, what if we started a business? My family is, we're serial entrepreneurs and my parents owned a business and my grandparents owned a business and their parents owned a business and it's just in my blood. And so, I was kind of a driving force of what can we do? And we started talking about it and just talking about where we really excel. And Ray had a ton of experience just in renovating homes, flipping homes. He and my dad flipped several properties together. And Ray was always, he's just handy guy, was always just doing something on the house, fixing things. Even at his fraternity house, he was building the bars for the windows down in the fan for the fraternity houses. He was always just mechanically inclined. And it was funny. I said, why don't you take a career test online and just see what it says. So he did, and it was architect, military or police officer, and home inspector. And I was like, oh, a home inspector. Okay, that seems like it would be
amazing.
And my family has always been involved in real estate, and my parents invest, and they've always had rentals. And I was like, we love real estate, and I had a strong marketing background, and he had this, house background, and it just kind of fit. And so I shipped him off to DC. He got trained with American Home Inspection Training. And we just went from there, and it was, it's been a long journey. We started out, doing the whole like startup thing where you're eating ramen noodles and PB and
Yeah,
J, working 3 jobs. He was working evenings at Home Depot. I was watching kids during the day in our house, and we were trying to run a business and just doing the whole hustle to try to get it started. So that's
I love that.
that's
So
where I
that's kind of
started.
my next question that kind of leads into that. Like, obviously Freedom, we coach different businesses, primarily real estate agents, but it gets hard. Like there's moments where, we talk about 18 years in a marriage, but like a year, 2, 3 years in, maybe even 4 or 5, just that first kind of leg of the race is what I call it. You sometimes want to give up. You're just frustrated with, maybe it's your own natural ceiling, your own ability. So I guess my next question is like, what would be your advice as one business owner to the next? Like when you're struggling, when you feel like this is your passion, you feel like this is the right path, but you're just frustrated because you can't get to the next level. Do you have any kind of wisdom for us to kind of unlock that?
I do, yeah. I think, when I look back on the advice I was always given, and kind of the things that pull me through to that next level, are always, there's that saying that, success is like what happens right when you feel like you want to quit.
Yeah.
And whenever I have felt like I want to quit, that is what keeps me going. Is I'm like, okay, like this is when people quit. People
Yeah.
quit now, and this is when, this is like you're on the like on the verge of like success.
Yeah.
And that's always been the case for us. Like we just kept going, and it sounds like really basic
No,
advice,
it's so true. Yeah,
not
it's that
complicated, but like,
breakdown leads to a breakthrough. And like so many times when I see emotion, whether they're crying or they're just frustrated, they're mad or they're angry, I'm like, you got the passion still. If you kind of just didn't have any emotion and you weren't fighting your way through, then maybe this isn't your cup of tea. This is not the business for you. So I agree. You have to push through the pain to get to the other side. And that's super cool. So I
and
love
I
that.
think sometimes, sometimes you feel that lack of passion, like you feel
Yeah.
flat, and you're like, do I even want to do this anymore? Like isn't like, I don't really want to do this. This is too much, like I'm just going to go get a 9 to 5 job and let somebody else worry about all of this.
Yeah.
But I think the other key is finding the inspiration. And, for us, that might mean like going to a home inspection conference, or, going and meeting with other business owners, or going and meeting, in our case, with other couples that own
Hmm.
businesses together as couples. But when you surround yourself with those people that have that passion for what they do, for me, it doesn't even matter what kind of business you own.
Right.
Like I
Me too.
love being around other business owners. It's like what drives me, and it gives me that kick of energy. Like even if I go to have lunch with another business owner, I come back and I'm like hitting the pavement. So I
Yeah.
think it's finding that spark again that gets you going.
Absolutely. I agree. I think sometimes we just get in the grind and we need that other perspective from another business owner, another entrepreneur that gives you some, the other side of the coin. So that's
Yeah.
huge. So what is the pleasant surprise? So you guys 18-year-olds like, hey, I'm going to do this. Now you're 18, you'll be in business for another 20, 30 years, right? So what is the secret surprise? You're like, wow, I can't believe this business has given us X, Y, Z that we didn't even anticipate. What was something that kind of pops in your head that is the sweet spot of why you became the entrepreneur and you've ran the race so far in 18 years? What's something cool that is unexpected, I guess?
I guess what's unexpected is also pretty basic, is just knowing that like you earn what you work for. And
Hmm.
like
No
as much
ceiling.
as much as you put into it is what you get out of it. And that there are always just so many opportunities. Opportunities abound. And you look around and you see all of these opportunities, and my mind's always like racing to like, what's next. And
Yeah.
so I guess the like for us, like just the excitement of what's next, and running
Yeah.
our own business, and reaping the rewards of what we've sown over the years. And that it's not always what you're doing right now, but what you did 3 months ago that really gets you to where you're going.
Yeah.
But I guess, for us, like the secret surprise is just the confidence that you have in yourself that you can do it,
Yeah. Well, I
because
think it ties into what you said earlier. Like you said, freedom. I always believe, obviously, our company is named Freedom for a reason, but freedom is a freedom of choice. Like, if I want to choose to work more to get more business, that's a choice. If I want to relax and spend time with my family at the beach, you know what? That's a choice as well. And the beauty of that is your freedom. It depends. You can push it forward or you can pull it back. And I think you guys are. I see you guys travel and you guys are very involved in your family, and yet you run a thriving business. I think that's a testament to that entrepreneurial spirit of just like you true have freedom. You're like, hey, you know what? We work hard.
yeah,
Let's take a break. Let's enjoy the moments in life. So I love seeing that kind of the yin and
I
yang
wish
of how you
I
guys
wish
love.
I had learned that balance factor earlier on. I think earlier on, like we hit it hard, and we sacrificed a lot of time when our kids were little and stuff that you can't get that time back. And
Yeah.
so, I often do wish that I learned that balance piece a little bit earlier. But
Yeah.
that
No, that's
balance
probably even good advice for
balance is
anyone
everything.
watching that, because I know a lot of agents that I coach of small kids, and they're in the hustle right now, and
It's hard.
it's hard because it is that they actually say there's no such thing as balance. It's that counterbalance effect
Mhm.
comes from the one thing, but book that I've read. But it's just one of those things where I think that is important to kind of just keep that perspective. So, well, I want to spend the last few minutes chatting about like your business. So there's actually several home inspection companies in Richmond, and they've crept up. Like it's insane. I don't know how long I've known you, probably 10 years now. So like, there was a handful, and now there's, just like real estate agents, I think there's, I don't know, probably 40 or 50 of them. So which is good or bad. It's is what it is, just like real estate agents, they're all equally the same. But what do you think is become your like calling card or your hallmark or unique value proposition to inside your organization that we should know about?
Yeah, I mean, there are a ton of home inspection companies out
Tons. Like I was
there.
at the gas station and this guy had a magnet on his, his truck, and I don't even remember the name of it. I'm like, what in the heck? But good for him for giving a shot.
Absolutely. I mean,
Out there hustling.
I always say we're lucky to live in an area where we have such a strong industry. There are so many good home inspectors to choose from.
Yeah,
And for me, I love it. I embrace competition.
yeah, yeah.
It only helps us elevate our game. Because if we're like
The
feeling
monopoly. Yeah,
because there are other people, like that's just not the way we roll. But I'd say what makes us unique is just our ability to establish relationships and keep those relationships going over the years.
I agree.
We have agents that started working with us back in 2004 that still work with us.
Mhm.
They're some of the people who really trusted us in the beginning when we were doing our very first inspections.
Yeah.
They didn't know anything about who we were, and we really didn't know who we were at that point. So,
Yeah.
we really value those relationships. But for us, that's what this business comes down to. It's, the inspections are great, and we do an excellent and very thorough job at doing an inspection. We have a fantastic product that we provide to our clients in the form of an inspection report that is very detailed with pictures and videos and all the bells and whistles. You can, create a list of the things you want to repair. We provide cost cures. I can go down that whole list.
Yeah. No, it's good technology. It's really specific. Receiving it and giving it to the listing agent. It's great because it takes some of the hard work out of our job, because sometimes we're like, we don't even know what half this stuff is. Like there's words that I'm like Googling, like, what in the hell is that? What, I don't even know. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's a great
yeah,
tool, but it's something worth mentioning for sure.
yeah. But I mean, really, aside from all of that, any home inspector can buy the software we use and
Sure.
provide a great report. So really what makes us unique is who we are and the opportunity for the relationships that we have, and the connections that we can form in our community, and just finding ways to give back to our community.
Yeah.
That's what's really at the heart of who we are and what we do. And that's evident in how we live our lives and how we run our business. And we're all about finding ways to, from the beginning, find out what the challenges are of real estate agents and how we can come together to find those solutions. One of the things we've been doing recently are field trips. We love
Yeah,
them.
I love that. Yeah,
We love them. They involve mimosas and brunch.
yeah,
And we were trying to find a way to like get away from the traditional like lunch and learn.
yeah.
I mean, who wants to sit in a room? I mean, no matter how good the food is, and like listen to
Yeah.
things about roofs and crawl spaces. So,
And now with COVID, I feel like it's even harder because getting people back in
yes,
training rooms, you're like,
yes,
we sat in here for hours and now I don't even want to be in this room for 20 minutes. So
yes. So
yeah,
this is a more hands-on opportunity for a small group of agents to get together and just be at a house with a home inspector and ask them all the questions they can't ask when their clients are around.
yeah.
So,
I've been to one of those field trips. They're really informative because you're physically seeing products like the HVAC system or the hot water heater.
yes,
And those little quirky questions that you would have never remembered in a training room. It
yeah,
just jogs your memory because you're in the field, which is
yes.
crazy. That's probably where our training should all be because we're not in houses,
Makes
then
sense.
what are we doing? Yeah. I love that you guys, I love that creativity. But I think that it ties to, I really always say, what's your unique value proposition? You guys are just great communicators. And I mean, I think that bridges the relationships that you have, but you guys, whether it's social media, you're great with social media, also the lunch and learns or the field trips, or just correspondence with the client. If they have this crazy question about something found on the deck, they'll just call you guys, and you guys are great with communicating to clients. So I think that's kind of tied in a bow with definitely the relationships that you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I appreciate you saying that because that's really all we strive for is really, being available and being present and just really being, I guess, really responsive, you
Yeah,
know.
and it's hard. Everybody's
It's
busy.
hard. It
It's
is hard.
hard to keep your phone going and the text messages and the emails. It's hard. I mean, to say you're great at building relationships through good, proper communication sounds like such a cliche, simple, easy thing. A lot of what we said sounds simple, but it's not in a very complex world that we live in.
Yes.
So good job. So last thing is we're all about giving referrals to our vendors and in reciprocating, obviously in return. Like, what's the best type of referral that we could give to you that you would appreciate, want, need to continue to grow this 18-year plus business?
Yeah. I mean, we just love working with agents that have the same mindset that we have. And that's really important to us. There are so many real estate agents in Richmond, and not all of them are a great fit to work with our inspection company. There's absolutely an inspection company out there for them. But that's the best referral for us is just somebody who has that mindset of good communication, respectful communication, and an open relationship where, you can really share honest feedback. That's what we want more than anything. Even if we always say the good, the bad, the ugly, we want to hear it, and it's true. Somebody who takes the time to provide you with negative feedback in a
Yeah,
constructive way is a gift as a business owner. I
yeah,
wouldn't want anything more than
totally.
that. I mean, everybody could fluff you up and give you 5-star reviews and say how wonderful you are. And
Yeah,
we very much appreciate that. We get tons of them. But, the person who gives you a call and says, hey, I'm having this problem and, I wanted to tell you about it.
yeah, yeah,
That's the agent we want to work with because that's the agent that we can build a very long lasting relationship with. We want to work with agents that we can be part of their team.
yeah,
It's no different than having like a buyer's agent on your team or a transaction coordinator. We're your in-house home inspection company. If
yeah,
you have a question about your listing or, anything, a client's home or your own home, we want to be that resource.
yeah.
So I'd say that's the best referral for us is, like-minded individuals that, conduct business in a similar way that we do.
Totally love that. So that's the end of all my questions, but what did I not ask you that I should have? What's something or piece of advice that you want to kind of end up with this? Whether it's about business, home inspections, life, like what do you think is your final period in the conversation?
Sure. Well, first, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to talk.
Yeah.
We love being part of your organization and everything that you've built. Watching you build your company has been very inspiring to us.
I appreciate that.
Just because I mean, I just remember way back in the day when I met you,
Yeah,
and like you've like grown
that is,
yourself and
yeah,
everything, your family, your business, like everything exponentially. So that's
appreciate that.
been amazing to watch. So, and thank you for having us. But I guess just my ending thoughts are just to remind everyone that everyone's going through something, and
Mm,
we all, that, I know that,
yeah,
but you don't always see the behind the scenes of what people are dealing with. Sometimes it's, like in your situation right now, it's like out there in the open for everybody to see.
yeah,
Sometimes it's not. Sometimes people are dealing with things that they're not talking about, and that impacts who they are, how they communicate. So it's just like that saying that like everyone has a battle that they're fighting, and to keep that in mind, because so many times we're so caught up in just getting through the transaction, getting through a real estate transaction, that we're not really like forming those connections with people in terms of like who they are, what they're dealing with in life, and how we can be of service to them. So I would just encourage everyone to take a minute, even today, to just recognize somebody and think about, even though if they might come across as being super bubbly or happy, or they have that smile on their face, like what's behind that, because everybody, is
yeah.
struggling with it.
I love that. I so agree with that. And I always say you can't always fix everyone's problems or always know what all their problems are, but you can be kind.
Yes,
You
yes.
can be kind.
It goes
And
a
whether
long
it's
way.
you're in the grocery store or you're in the transaction, you're dealing with a home inspector, you're dealing with a co-op agent, you know what, you still can be kind to each
Yeah.
person and still articulate your point, whether it's your fiduciary responsibility or just your human responsibility to communicate. But dang it, be nice, be kind. So, well, thanks for spending your morning with me. I appreciate it. All
Yeah, I
right.
appreciate you having us.
All right. Love you guys. Thank you guys so much.
Mwah.